YouTube? It is Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today I'm going to continue our series of Meet Our Animals, and I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite balls, but not both of my favorite balls, just one. So this is a snake that, before I get him out, you don't get to ask questions yet. At the end, Question Girl is actually here today, and she's already got her hand up like she's in 5th grade. When she teaches 5th grade, which is what she does for a living, she can't help but raise her hand. I told her you don't have to do that. It's only you in the class, but she still does it. Before I show you the snake, let me tell you, this is one that I was really excited to get. When I got him, it was when I was first kind of still getting into it. It's one of the first, more expensive at the time than they are now, snakes that I purchased, and kind of blew my mind away. I was really, really excited to get this guy here. He also was a snake that kind of started a really long relationship with a vendor. Check him out right there. And this is Hades. Hades is a spider axanthic, and a very, very nice one at that. And axanthic doesn't always pick up on camera so well, so keep your eyeball on him. Let me show you something. This is a female. That's a plain spider. The reason I want both of them out there, even though we're talking about Hades today, is just to show the contrast. So you can see what that gene does. This is what gives you that silver color. It deletes all the yellow pigment. And axanthic is my favorite gene. When I first got into ball pythons, it was finding the zebra bee and the killer zebra bee, as you guys well know. And before I had him, I had a pastel head axanthic and a bumblebee. And I was going to breed the bumblebee to the pastel head, make some possible heads, this and that. And I thought, man, that is going to take way too long. We're going to skip a few steps. I got the chance to buy him. I saw him at a show in Manhattan, here, our local show, at a table with tall grass reptiles, who you've heard me talk about a lot, and I didn't buy him. I spent the next few weeks kicking myself for not buying him. And then there was a show in Kansas City, so I called them. They still had him, and I made a deal to purchase the snake before I ever went to the show. So I'd already negotiated it. They took him to the show for me. I went to the show. I picked him up, and I also picked up a few other things at that show. But this is what I was chasing there, was this guy right here. And what I loved about him is, again, it's not about just picking the genes. Not any spider axanthic was going to do for my project. His color was very, very exceptional. They do darken with age, like most ball pythons. So as a baby, he was extremely bright. His children have been really nice. I also really liked the way his spider pattern was. You can see he has some dots, not a lot though, and very reduced. It's all broken through here, and I just thought that was the coolest. So he was what I wanted to use for my breeding project. He is Zeus's dad. I saved a lot of his babies back over the years. When you've heard me talk about spider and the pattern, it all came from him. This is what's pushing all of that. All of our head axanthic stuff, a lot of it is coming from him, and a lot of our visual axanthic stuff that we've kept. Like both pastel axanthics, he's a dad, and and Zeus, he's a dad. So Hades kind of has a special spot with me. He's not breeding this year because we're using our pastel axanthic male instead of him to kind of keep that bloodline a little more diverse for some of our holdbacks. But it's not because I don't want to breed him, it's because I'm already breeding too much spider this season as it is. And I don't really want to make the same pairing, so I'd like to get some super pastel axanthic. So that's why he's getting the year off. Otherwise, he's been a great breeder for me. His size is good. He was also the first snake to ever bite me in front of a crowd. Was this guy. One year at a 4th of July party, some of the Question Girls' friends wanted to see some of the snakes, and as soon as I opened his tub, he lit into my thumb. With 2 chicks hanging out in there, so you had to man up and not be a little bitch ass about it and just take it and bleed all over the place like a stuck pig. So that was Hades. To the girls' credit, I can't remember which 2 were up there. I know one of them was your friend Morgan. One of them was like, hell no, I'm done with this. But the other guy was like, oh yeah, let me pick up some of these and play with them. So Morgan, I don't think you watch this, but if you do, props to you, you're a badass. All right, before we go, talk a little more about Hades. Kurt, do you have any questions about this guy?
No. What axanthic line is he?
He is SK. Everything I work is SK. And he's a little feisty, and you can still do that wobble coming in if you watch. So that was all it was. He just doesn't know when his head's up or down when he's in the air. And you can't quite figure that out. Hi, camera. He is an SK line, snake keeper line. That's what all my axanthic is. I only keep one line. It just keeps things simpler. Question girl, you had your hand up, Earl. You've been waiting a while. What you got for me?
Well, that question was to be better timed with your original comment earlier.
About my ball?
About your one ball.
Yeah?
I wanted to know if it descended properly.
If it descended properly. You know, let me tell you something, guys. Every now and then, both camera guy Kurt and question girl get on me for my uncouth ways. And they tell me I need to be more, you know, professional, more respectful. And then, the minute you let them on camera, she makes a ball descending joke. If I would have talked about my nuts dropping on camera, she would have been all over me about how unprofessional I am.
Well,
But
I was
before
kind
we-
of hoping that maybe
Hold on.
Zeus could descend
Before we
and
get
we
there,
could see him next to his
I
dad
will
and
say-
maybe compare the two.
well, Zeus
So-
will have his own video.
Right,
but before
then
we get
can
there,
look at what you were just referring
We
to
can do
with
that.
the parent and the child.
we'll do that just to make her happy. But I do want to stress one thing. When we do talk about dropping balls, it is very unhealthy to drop your balls. Don't drop your balls. They should only drop once, and that should be before you're actually born. Otherwise, no ball dropping. All right, you want to compare him to his son? We're going to do that. Usually we don't do this, but anytime I can show Zeus on camera, I do. And Zeus is still going to get his own video. This doesn't count for it. Oh, you took a poop I need to clean out too. Yay me. But this is Zeus. And this is Hades. So you can really see the effect the pastel has on the color. Right? Look at that. Just gorgeous. But you can see the influence and the pattern from his father to him. So that does pass on. You know, not all spiders are created equal. They're just not. So a morph is a morph, sure, but there's slight differences in them that do pass on from parent to child. Any other questions? What about you, Kurt? Any questions? While
No.
I pick up crap with my hand. Again, you want to keep yourself grounded. Make sure you don't get too big of a head. Just pick up some shit with your bare hands. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed Hades. I know I did. And he did get his name. I guess I should cover that. We talked about how we named these guys. Hades got his name because it's quite simple. He's got a badass looking pattern. There's absolutely no yellow on him. So I thought the god of darkness was fitting. I really want to keep my axanthic things with kind of dark gods' names because they're absent the yellow, absent the sun, absent the light. Now Zeus obviously isn't a dark god. Zeus is, and I'll tell the full story on his name. That was a name that I was holding for that snake. And I knew when that snake was born, if it was a male, it would be named Zeus. It was preordained before we ever even did the breeding. He was only a thought in my head. That name was already saved for him. All right, any other questions, guys, before we go?
No.
All right, guys, as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you again really soon.